Hello friends, this is Dr. John WorldPeace JD. JD standing for Doctor of Jurisprudence, meaning I did practice law as a lawyer. I was an advocate and a counselor, and today I'm talking to you as an advocate and counselor for Jesus Christ. It's September the 23rd, Sunday, 11:54 in the morning. I want to talk to you today about the book of Revelations and how that has been misinterpreted, always for money, power, control, and it's a false book, and I'm getting ready to explain to you why. This book of Revelations has tied through the false preachers who sell the doom and gloom, to sell it through books and tours to Israel and so on and so forth. It's a false book. Jesus died on the cross, and 3 days later he was resurrected. This is what Christians believe. When Jesus was resurrected, that was the second coming. Jesus said in the red letter words, "No one knows the time of the end times except God." Not Jesus, not the angels, only God. In the book of Revelations, which was written by, it appears, John the Elder, who was a disciple of John the Apostle on the Isle of Patmos, where they were exiled, seems to say that he knows about the end times. He knows when, he knows what's going to happen and all that. This is absolutely contrary to the words of Jesus, who said nobody knows, not even Jesus. The red letter words in the Bible that are the sayings out of the mouth of Jesus take precedence over everything else. In fact, everything else is just really commentary. And John the Elder is not even an apostle. It was written in about the year 100, 70 years after Jesus died. So it's a false book based on that alone. Jesus said nobody knows about the end times except God. There's not going to be a second coming. Why? Let's go back to what did Jesus say? Where two or more are gathered in my name, I am there. Now, how many of you Christians will go to church and stand up in church and say, Jesus is not here? That's not true. Jesus is going to come back. He's not here right now. Nobody's going to say that. Jesus is here. He said he would be here. He said, "Lo, I am with you always." And he also said, where two or more are gathered, I will be there in my name. So the question is, what's the second coming? It's a lie. Are you going to say that people all over the world do not feel the presence of Jesus when they're praying? It's crazy. How can he come back when he never left? So there's the first big problem with the book of Revelations. Now, why is there so much push about this book of Revelations? Because preachers like John Hagee in San Antonio, they sell books on the doom and gloom. The world's coming to an end and there's going to be judgment and blah, blah, blah. and he sells books, and he goes over to Israel, and he takes tours, and he makes money, and he promotes himself on doom and gloom. Now let me tell you the truth about the future. Jesus said it. The words of Jesus, not John Hagee, not John the Elder, Jesus. Jesus said, ask and receive, seek and find, knock and enter. Whoever asks receives, he who seeks finds, and he who knocks, it will be opened. Anyone that has the faith the size of a mustard seed can move mountains. And I believe that literally, not metaphorically. Ask and receive, seek and find, knock and enter. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. And Jesus also said, if you believe in me, you will do the works that I do, and greater works than these will you do, because I go to the Father. Whatever you ask in my name, I'm going to do it for the greater glory of the Father. Anything you ask in my name, I will do it. Now, what do those verses really say? They say that we individually and as groups create and script our future. Forget prophecy. If you don't go to a psychic and don't believe in them, then you have no business believing in anything in the book of Revelations. It's ridiculous. Jesus said, you are scripting your life. Ask and receive, seek and find, knock and enter, faith the size of a mustard seed, and believe in me, and you're going to control your future. And what does that mean? That means the book of Revelation is not set in stone. It's somebody's dream. In fact, the Isle of Patmos was known for hallucinations and prophecy and all that. That was what goes on or went on in part on that island. Prophecy is nonsense because Jesus said we are controlling our future. So we need to be projecting a positive future, an uplifting future, a future with hope and peace and harmony. Not this constant hammering we get week to week from false preachers that the world's coming to an end. And Gog and Magog, China and Russia are going to meet on the plain of Armageddon versus the United States. And we're going to have this big war and Jesus is going to come out of the sky and make everything okay. Well, hey, you know what? 2,000 years ago, the Jews thought Jesus was going to come out of the sky with thousands of angels and kick the Romans out of Israel. That's not the Jesus that came. The Jesus that came had a different message. Don't you see? It's the same old nonsense. Nobody knows. The Jews were totally wrong 2,000 years ago, and these evangelical Christians and John Hagee and all his other peers are false prophets. They're singing the same song as many 2,000 years ago. It's nonsense. What is the truth? Well, I'll tell you what, according again to Jesus, and summing it up a little easier, simpler, what do you get out of life? You get what you really, really want, and you get what you really, really don't want. That's the way it is. So whatever you're focused on, that's what's coming down the track. What we as a nation, as a world, as a group, as an individual are focused on, that's what's coming down the road. Not the book of Revelation. Unless we focus on that. Well, let me tell you something else, friends. The Chinese, the Buddhists, the Hindus, they don't believe any of this. This is a Christian, Judaism, Muslim belief. Half of the world doesn't believe it. And in a lot of cases, probably never even heard it. We are scripting our future. And when we listen to false prophets like John Hagee, Kenneth Copeland, and on down the line, and local preachers all over the United States, they're projecting this doom and gloom. And guess what? Right now, we got chaos in the United States. Now, you think that's part because John Hagee says the world's coming to an end? We're in the end times, according to the book of Revelation. The world's going to end in the year 2000. The world's going to end on December whatever, 2012. Sorry. It's not been the way of the world. God has always worked through prophets. Human beings. Jesus came into a human body. Not out of the sky. Not with an army of angels. The whole Bible has revealed itself, has come through prophets, Moses, Elijah, John the Baptist, Jesus, on and on. Not through fantastic events. It didn't happen 2,000 years ago, and it's not going to happen now. We need to quit focusing on the doom and gloom. And we need to take Jesus at his word, not John the Elder, nobody. Ask and receive, seek and find, knock and enter. If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. If you believe in me, you can do the things that I do, and greater things than these can you do. Will you do? We need to craft a positive future of world peace and harmony and getting along. Not the confrontational, ridiculous, indescribable policies of Donald Trump. And what's going on in the rest of the world as well. We're bringing this chaos onto us. Christians think the world is coming to an end. They think Donald Trump is a sign, and what's going on in Israel is a sign. And I'll talk about that in another video here. We need to turn our minds around, flush out this doom and gloom, and project a future of getting along. Because we're headed down that doom and gloom by our own design and our own thoughts. Take your Bible, take the book of Revelations, rip it out and burn it. It's a lie. It's prophecy. It's not true. It can be true if we want to project that, but who wants to project that? It's time to turn the world around and seek peace, project peace, and what we believe is what we're going to manifest. That's what Jesus said. That's the truth. That's the real message. Thanks for your consideration. Have a good day. There's a lot more coming. Thank you.